Shalom Israel. Having to remove leaven from the menu for this week's holy celebration can seem a little daunting, especially when you're celebrating for the first time. More than likely, you do not have a pantry full of kosher foods, so you're wondering, what can I eat? But fear not, the holiday can still be joyous. And in most cases, until you really learn how to observe this holy day, and Holy Week, I should say, you more than likely will eat something you shouldn't. No worries, beloved. The Most High have mercy. He is more interested in your obedience to keep His commandments, His mitzvah, than your sacrifice into giving certain things up. Yeshua said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. And that's what you're doing. But the enemy of your soul wants to make keeping the Most High's holy days a hardship. The Most High knows our struggles, and He doesn't want to impose any hardships on us to make it difficult for us to keep His Shabbats. But the enemy knows our struggles as well, and he will go to any length to discourage us from keeping the Most High's holy days. But there are still many foods that we can enjoy during this time. Now, let me say, one of the key roles that play a big part in the restrictions of Passover foods is tradition. And we know one of the biggest traditions of Passover foods that are forbidden is to remove all chametz from the menu. The Most High clearly stated this in the book of Shemot 12, Exodus 12. And that is leaven. Foods that contain leavening, foods that contain yeast, and certain grains are forbidden. So you say, pasta don't contain leaven, rice don't contain leaven, neither does legumes. They don't contain leaven either, so why are those foods forbidden? And the 5 grains that are forbidden: wheat, spelt, barley, oats, and rye. First off, leaven is symbolic to sin, falsehood, corruption, evil, and death. And where there's death, there's no life. The Most High is the God, the Elohim of life. Yeshua is the bread of life. Man cannot live on bread alone. Apart from Yeshua, we have no life. The Pharisees were very proud, boastful, arrogant, and puffed up. Just like Pharaoh, he thought all the magicians and the idols and the false gods that he prayed to was more powerful than the Most High Yah. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees thought they were greater than Yeshua. They had no belief in who he said he was. Yeshua used leaven to demonstrate the hypocrisy of the Pharisees. Meanwhile, when an innumerable crowd of people had gathered together so that they trampled one another, he began to say to his taught ones, first, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. And whatever is concealed shall be revealed, and whatever is hidden shall be known. So whatever you have said in the dark shall be heard in the light, and what you have spoken in the ear in inner rooms shall be proclaimed on the housetops. Yeast and leaven is the influence that the Pharisees and the Pharaoh had over people. Hearts was full of unbelief and sinful. This is why we cannot have the leaven during Passover, and this is why all chametz must be removed. And also, when the Israelites were in Egypt, they did not have time for the dough to rise, therefore having to make unleavened bread. And so the reason why the grains are forbidden during Passover, because after being left in water for a certain period of time, the grains begin to rise like leavening. Now, pasta is forbidden because most pastas are made from durum wheat, which is considered a chametz, and that's because the fermenting process. Okay, so now the good part. What can we eat?